YouTube? What's up? It's your boy back again. This is my Benjamin Vaporizer. Yeah, man. I'm starting to get into air rifling. I want to start hunting. I want to start hunting squirrel, rabbit, small game, maybe even birds. So I'm still doing my research on that. I live in Modesto, California, and it's kind of hard to find a good place to hunt. So I'm still doing my research. But I got this probably about a month ago. Did my research, and this is what I came up with. I saw that the Benjamin had a nice little look to it, good reviews. I mean, Benjamin rifles had good reviews, and I wanted something a little beefier. So I ended up getting a vaporizer. So this guy is probably the only person on YouTube who has this type of gun, and I feel like I'm the second on YouTube. I'm gonna do more of a close-up. That guy's, his wasn't as close-up as I'd like, as I would have liked to see it. I mean, I saw it and then I did my research and I liked how it looked, and I was gonna go with the Mayhem. It has a beefier barrel on it, but I kind of like how this one was slim, and I talked to my wife about it and she was like, yeah, I like this one better, which I'm kind of went with this choice. It's a nitro piston. I would suggest you do your research on that. I'm not going to talk too much about that. It has a 5-year warranty, built-in silencer, what I just showed you on the front. 2-stage trigger. I'll tell you about that. And it's a 22 caliber. And those are all the things it's ideal for. Yeah, I mean, I saw it on a couple of videos on YouTube, guys shooting hogs, and I suppose you could do it, but I heard it's not really a good idea because you might wound an animal and not even kill them, and they might suffer a little bit. So let's go to the trigger. Yeah, let's talk about the trigger. 2-stage trigger. It's on safety. It's off safety. I really like this feature in most guns. It's on the back or on the side, but this is really convenient. I just have to remember to put it on because sometimes I forget to put it on because it's so easy to forget. I did go to M Carbo and get a trigger upgrade kit. Basically comes with a spring, softer spring. I already put it in. This is the old one. It comes with all the stuff you see, except this spring. This is the original spring, and this is the original screw, the adjusting screw for the trigger. And it comes with 2 washers. I guess Benjamin rifles, some Benjamin rifles have a little bit of play here. This one has a little bit, but I think that's just the leverage of the trigger. Oh, I thought that was my gun falling. I almost panicked for a second. This is the original spring. You see how hard how much force you need to squeeze it. The original one, it's real light. You can basically do that. But they say not to squeeze it down too much because you might, mess it up. But and then it comes with a hex screw for the adjusting. It's a little bit longer than this, so you have more adjustment. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Because when I was shooting it, first day I shot it, I felt my finger kind of cramping up because it just took so long to pull, and it was kind of throwing me off a little bit. So yeah, that's one of the upgrades I did, and also upgraded the scope. This is a UTG 3x9x40 scope, Vermont Predator hunting scope. The original scope is just the regular 3x9x40 AO scope. You can see side by side the better scope. I got the elevation and windage reticle. This knob, I kind of like this. On this one, you had to use like a penny or whatever to kind of adjust it, and I didn't like that because it was kind of hard trying to adjust it. Originally, I didn't have this, the sandbags. I was using like a pillow, and that didn't work out. So I was like, I gotta get something. I know I'm all over the place right now. Bear with me. So I did end up getting this shooting rest, this Codwell shooting rest, the Stinger. It looked dope. I enjoyed it for a little bit, and then I kind of realized it wasn't for me because this is rubber and it was stopping it from shooting well and building my accuracy. Because I guess with this brake barrels you have to use the artillery hold, and because this is rubber, and then also the stock, the hand rest is it wouldn't allow it to recoil like it's supposed to. So I ended up sending that back, even though it was badass. But I ended up sending that back and just getting the sandbags, which actually works. I tried using the sandbags in my hand. I think a mixture of both. I feel from my application, I feel like the sandbags are working better than my hand until I get more comfortable with doing that. But back to the scope. The scope is, got the zooms here, got the covers. You can see the covers on this scope. It's pretty cheap, and they're kind of, a little bit wobbly. I mean, you can obviously tell this is the better scope. It does have illumination and enhancing, whatever you want to call it. It has colors. The reticle can change colors, basically what I'm trying to say. It goes up to all these colors. But I think I tried it once, but I turned it off because there's really no need for me to use it right now because I have no need to use it. But I think you just turn it on. And then you turn it off. You press that one or whatever. As far as leveling my scope and sighting it in, it took... I think I got it leveled in pretty good. I'm not gonna mess with it. I did buy these things off Amazon. I think they're made in China. You can see, you can tell that. Look, you see how slow that bubble goes. Let me know that it's not good. If your bubble goes this slow when moving, just imagine it like this one. This one's probably better. Actually, it's actually moving. I don't know what happened, but it's moving better than it was. But when I first got it was moving super slow. It was going like, yeah. Anyways, but I'm returning this because look, it just came out. So I'm gonna return this to. Actually, they said I can keep one of these. I forget which one of these. I think they said I can keep this one. So, I mean, I might put this one back on since I don't really have a problem with this one. I mean, and the bubble's speeding up, so I might end up putting this back on, but the Amazon, they want this one. They told me to send this one back, so this one's like $8.99, so I ended up getting my money back for this, and then just getting some more pellets because I'm running low. But if you see this online, I mean, I suggest you get a more expensive one because this one's kind of crappy. And this just goes on the bars over here, on the bars, so you can know if your gun's level or not. Later on, I'll probably get some more expensive ones, but yeah, you got your zoom here, and it goes up to affinity from like 10. It probably even goes below 10 to affinity. Yeah, 5 yards to affinity. Boom. There you go. What else? Got the sling attachments here. Sling attachments on the back. Yeah, I'm loving this gun. Let me just go through everything. So for me, what works for this gun is the Trophy Powers by H&N. field target trophy power. They are 14.6 grain, and they work amazing. The guy on YouTube, this guy on YouTube had, you know, a Benjamin rifle, which was the Mayhem or the Trial or whatever. I forget which one it was, but he said these work real well in it. So I decided to, you know, make this the first one I tried, and then second day I think I went out and grabbed some Premiers just because I heard they were pretty cheap at Walmart. These Premiers don't work at all in this gun. They work in a lot of people's gun on YouTube, but my gun specifically doesn't work. I'm pretty disappointed. This is last resort just in case I run out and want to shoot something, but I'm not going to zero in my gun to these because these aren't accurate. My groupings were all over the place. I think I had like 5-7 inch groups with these, and I'm like zeroed in on these. I'm like dead on. I'm like hitting like hard. I'm hitting hard with these field trophies. I did buy these H&N Sport hunting pellets, a little variety pack to just try out which pellets work best. There's only a couple in here that worked real well for my gun, but you know, I think these ones, these are the Barracuda Hunters. These work pretty well, and the SP, these are the Silver Point. Silver Point work real well, even though these are kind of tight in the barrel. I hear tight is good, but you know, not too tight. But I don't know. I'm still getting a feel for it. But I probably won't purchase any of these because I know for my gun, first time around, these were good. I was getting good groups, and now I'm zeroed in, and now I'm shooting center every time. So I'm just gonna buy more of these, break my gun in. I think I got so far. This is my second pack. There's 200 pieces in here. I just went through one of these. There's 200. Probably only about 20 more in here, so I'm almost through. I almost shot like probably almost 500 because I used some of these too and a couple of those. So I think I'm at about 500, and I think it's probably about time for me to clean my barrel, but I think I'm probably wait. So my gun is getting broken into, and I heard after you break into it, it's going to become more accurate. So I'm trying to, you know, shoot it more, see if that's true. What else? What does that kind of say? Awesome gun. Like I said, I'm new to it, so I don't know all the terms and all the right, you know, words for everything. But I've been watching a bunch of videos on YouTube, and I think I'm getting pretty good at it. Leveling my scope, like I said, was kind of easy, but I didn't really have a rest to really make sure my scope or my rifle was leveled before I leveled it. But right now, when I'm looking through the sights, I mean, it seems pretty straight. I will be buying another one of these and probably a rifle rest, maintenance rest, just to kind of confirm that this scope is level, and yeah, do it like that. Yeah, so some more things that I bought was these targets off Amazon. It was like, it came at splatterburst.com off Amazon. It came with, how many did it come with? 50 of these, and highly recommended. These were awesome. And I got the little plugs, little bullet plugs. That's what I like to call them, little patches. These are a must-have when you're shooting. Especially if you're shooting splatter targets, you must have these, or you're just gonna go through your targets like crazy. And I feel like I used 4 targets and only used about one in one sheet, and probably just, you know, a little bit from this sheet, but and still got a bunch of sheets left. And then once you get low, you just, you know you need to purchase more. Yeah, so when I replaced the trigger guard, I mean not the trigger guard, but the trigger, I had to take off the stock. And also something to be mindful of, these screws that attach the stock to the barrel, to the gun barrel, I guess, they will, they're kind of cross-threaded, so just be careful when you're putting them back in. Also, they come with blue Loctite, so you want to make sure you add some blue Loctite back on those screws when putting it back, just so it doesn't loosen. And something to be mindful of if you've never taken apart your gun or your trigger. They have these little C clamps. For me, taking it off was okay, but when I was putting it back on, the I guess you can call it the bolt that goes through before you put the C clamp back on, you want to make sure that that's, you know, at the right level, because I had it pushed up all the way, and then when I tried to put the C clamp back on, it was pushing into like the smooth part rather than the notch that was on the bolt. If that makes sense. I mean, if you end up taking yours apart, you'll see, just think about it, like, hey, he said not to push it up all the way. Let me see what he's talking about. Just get real close on it, because I was kind of far away when I was putting it back on, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. Other than that, I think I showed you guys everything. This is my gun, my upgrades. I do want to swirl my stock. I looked up a couple of videos on YouTube, and they dipped their stock and swirled it, and I do want to put like a little, what's it called, a little camo swirl on my stock, maybe on the barrel also, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Oh, one last thing, I did get this case is for a paintball gun, but it's pretty hefty. I looked on YouTube, they had one, and it was kind of flimsy, based on the guy's review on YouTube, and this one's pretty damn solid. I mean, on the edges here, it's kind of caves in a little bit, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty damn dope. I wanted some nice and rigid, so just in case if I do accidentally drop it, it won't just, you know, ding up and, you know, mess up my scope. I did do some cutouts in here. Originally, it was cut out to be a paintball gun or some type of gun. I forget. I think it was a paintball gun. So I just cut around that, and I cut the shape of my gun in there. I do want to get some more padding, but that padding is expensive. I probably got to go to a fabric store or something, or somewhere. It's on Amazon. It was like $50 or something like that for some padding, which I don't need much. I just need like one sheet. I'll probably repad this whole thing. So I sighted in my rifle. My groups are real well. If you have this gun, try out I know all guns aren't the same. All rifles aren't the same. And they won't shoot the same pellet well, but it's something to look into. I got lucky. All I bought was this and these, and I got lucky, and this was the only thing I needed. This was the only one I needed to. And I know because a lot of people, they have like stacks and stacks of pellets trying to figure out which one works better. But I mean, do research on your gun. If you see a pellet is working good for the same type of gun, buy that pellet and see if it's the same for you. If not, just do some more research. You don't have to spend a bunch of money trying to, find pellets, the right pellet for your gun. You might just luck up. So don't just, get a pellet that you think you might like. Try to see what pellet works for that gun based on YouTube, based on forums on the internet or whatever. Other than that, this is it, guys. Enjoy. Hope you enjoy. This is my rifle. Enjoy.